between light and dark is so very thin.
And I have become legend.
And welcome back, Guardians, to another episode of Becoming Legend. Episode 26. This is the final episode of Season 1 of Becoming Legend, a Destiny podcast. Thank you so much for your viewership and listenership and generally caring about Destiny and what we have to say about it. My name is Mr. Birduuup Jones. I will be soloing this episode today. Solo flawless. Yeah, right. Because it's actually Valentine's Day when I'm recording this right now, and it's kind of late in my time zone. It's very likely that Mr. Tweezy is having his Valentine's dinner with his wife, so I thought I would go ahead and try to carry this on by myself. Let me know how I'm doing. Going to try my best to keep this episode short and sweet. There's a lot of information that I need to attempt to cover, so we will get to it right after just a little bit of housekeeping. One thing that I want to let you know concerning the podcast, again, is we are beginning Season 2 of the podcast on February 25th. This is right after the release of the Witch Queen expansion on February 22nd, 2022. Pretty cool. We will be releasing our first episode of Season 1 to 2022. Pretty close, so you'll still get some fresh opinions. Another thing is, if you would like to support us directly, if you would like to help us grow, expand, increase the quality of our podcast, give you, more opinions and more places to reach us, then what you can do is support us directly by going to patreon.com/becominglegend. This will allow you to become a Patreon member of ours that actually comes with some specific perks. One, you can listen to ad-free versions of our podcast, so you will no longer have to listen to the 2, maybe 3 ads that will be featured in each episode from here forward in Season 2. Also, you will be allowed to listen to our episodes one day early, as they typically drop on Fridays. You will be able to access our episode on Thursday in timing with the current TWAB this week at Bungie. So, pretty cool stuff. Also, you can follow us and leave a rating on Spotify or wherever you choose to listen to podcasts. If you are unable to donate financially to the Patreon, you can go to our YouTube channel, Becoming Legend, a Destiny podcast, and subscribe there. We actually have all the episodes from Season 1 already loaded onto the YouTube, so if you would like to look at our lovely faces while we talk about the Destiny lore, that's where you can do it. Especially if you want to go back and find specific lore coverings or certain explanations of your favorite piece of Destiny lore, maybe a question that you have, chances are we already talked about it, and you can go find the answers in Season 1 of our podcast. Again, Becoming Legend, a Destiny podcast, everywhere. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to go ahead and get down to it. Okay, so on our previous episode 25, we spent a good portion of the time updating you on the TWABs, the current 2022 this week at Bungie releases that they have given us so far. We covered January's. We are going to begin with February. February 3rd was the first release that they had. Let me preface this by saying I'm not going to read the entire TWAB. I'm going to be honest with you, because it's really, really long. If you thought the information we gave you in episode 25 was extensive, bro, it's a joke. Those were warm-ups. Go check out the TWABs from February 3rd and February 7th, and they are books. I reread them today in preparation for the episode, and it's just so much nonsensical knowledge in there. Some of it will make sense to seasoned veterans of the game, especially in-game players and high-level activity players. But if you're a casual and you just kind of want to check out the game, you just want to figure out the story, or maybe you just want to find out how parts of the story end. You've been following this game for a while. You've heard the name Savathun. You're kind of ready to go smack her around in space. This is for you. So I'm just going to pick out a few things that Mr. Tweezy and I have highlighted from the TWABs, and we're going to give you my thoughts on that. The first would be they have made changes to the way reputation games will function After the Witch Queen update. What this means is certain activities will give you better rewards, better XP than they used to. So you will be able to grind out any activity that you want and receive about the same amount of XP across the board. So one of the slowest ways to receive XP before was Vanguard Strikes. Vanguard Strikes is actually going away and will now be called Vanguard Ops. It's literally Vanguard Strikes combined with the seasonal activities from Beyond Light DLC. So that is that's the Battlegrounds, that's the Vex Overloads, etc. Those 6-man activities. No, I'm mistaken. I'm sorry about that. Not 6-man activities, 3-man activities. That will be kind of masked. They're combining old stuff to give you more to do. All right, that's pretty simple. Next, they're making changes to the lost sectors. So what would happen before is there would be a daily heroic lost sector and a daily master lost sector. And if you did the master lost sector, you had a higher chance. If you did the master lost sector solo, you had a higher chance of a specific piece of exotic armor dropping than if you ran it with a fire team or if you ran it on the lower heroic difficulty. Is it possible for you to get these drops? Yeah, but how likely are you going to get it in heroic? It's a really, really low percentage. So your best chance was doing master lost sectors to grind for that high stat gear, which is high stat exotic armor, typically class specific. So for example, if you're a Titan and you're looking for the Falling Star Curious, no, I'm getting my exotics mixed up. Sorry, Falling Star. It's a chest piece. Then you would have to do the master lost sector for the day that has that's dropping chest armor. Now what they're going to do is there will actually just be one that is master and heroic instead of one master lost sector on one part of the map and one heroic on another, potentially even on a separate location. Now it will just be the same, and you can just choose which difficulty you want to participate in. Doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but when you're grinding these things out, it's a pretty big deal. It's going to be a big time saver for when you need to grind lost sectors. Cool. Another thing that happened over the last 2 weeks that they really specifically mentioned on the February 3rd TWAB, it may have felt like this was a long time ago, but guys, in the last 2 weeks, Sony bought Bungie. I don't know if y'all heard about this. It's pretty crazy. It's been all over the news. It's been all over. Every single video game YouTuber has discussed it in some way, shape, or form. Basically, one thing that you need to know is Bungie officially was acquired by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Destiny and all future games will remain cross-platform. So whenever they come out with the Destiny killer, whatever the next one is, from Bungie, then you don't have to worry about that being a Sony exclusive. You will still be able to experience it on your Xbox. You will still very likely to be able to experience on PC. I can't say at launch because you know how PC sometimes gets games late. It's just how it is. But right now, Bungie's letting us know that they are somewhat remaining an independent studio or trying to keep their independent attitude and not let Sony boss them around. So you don't have to worry about losing your favorite games to Sony. You don't have to worry about Sony kind of throwing Bungie under the bus or destroying your favorite franchise. You don't have to worry about going back to the same Destiny you experienced back with the Bungie Activision partnership. Cool? Cool. Another part that I wanted to pick out was weapon crafting. They actually spent a good amount of time on weapon crafting in the February 3rd TWAB. Here's a couple things that they let us know. Weapon crafting is going to take place in the Enclave. So from a lore perspective, this is the name of the location where you're going to craft your endgame glaives, where you're going to get specific rolls of weapons, where you're going to find what they're calling patterns, quote unquote, or like blueprints for your weapon and go build it here at the Enclave. not really explaining why it's called the Enclave, but I did a little bit of searching on the internet, and an enclave is an established country inside another country. So you're surrounded on all borders by a larger country, but you're able to maintain your independence in your own state in the middle, if that makes sense. So here, it's probably somewhere inside the throne room that we have maybe decorrupted or cleansed and influenced with our light. It's somewhere in the throne world that's safe for us, where we are able to go back, to retreat back, rest, recuperate, make new weapons, go back out into the throne world and kill stuff, if that makes sense. Don't quote me on that. This is just my interpretation, but I think that's how it's going to function. A couple things about weapon crafting I want to let you know. During the first 2 missions of Witch Queen, all players will be given deep sight and be introduced to the Enclave, the new location for crafting new weapons. Activity and quest completions will earn weapon patterns, which will allow you to craft weapons at any time with the right materials. Random roll weapons will have a chance to drop with the new ability, Deep Sight Resonance, which allows you to target specific traits to craft after completing specific objectives with the weapon. There's a couple more points, but right now I just kind of want to break down what I just told you. Essentially, Deep Sight is the new, they're calling it a darkness ability that we're going to gain by going into the Witch Queen's throne world. Excuse me. Once we're in there, veterans of D1 may remember that on Oryx's ship on the Dreadnought, you would often interact with hive glyphs, maybe secretly hidden in the walls, or maybe there's a secret treasure chest or something that you interact with that would give you a sort of debuff, but also allow you to see hidden items present in the world and get to certain chests that you were unable to do so before. So I really think Deep Sight, if it's not the same perk from D1, because I'm sorry, I honestly don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, is the new perk, which will allow you to, again, find locations that may have been hidden, possibly pass through walls, like phasing through areas, help you explore. If you are a current Destiny player, kind of like whenever you are in, not the Shattered Realm, whenever you're in the new seasoned Darkness Zone thing, sorry, I'm kind of tired, but you know what I mean. And you are able to, yeah, we might edit this out. Anyway, Deep Sight Resonance allows you to target specific traits to craft after completing specific objectives with this weapon. So not only are you able to go out and discover things in the world, you're kind of able to channel your deep sight into specific weapons. This is a way that they're changing the weapon building and weapon modding aspect of the game. So now not only will you be able to increase the stats on your gun by masterworking, right? So you add all the levels into your gun, you level it all the way to level 10, which will allow you to use up to 10 mod levels, and you basically make your gun better and able to make power orbs. Well, that's not the way it's going to function anymore, because now you'll be making orbs through mods on your armor, as we stated in episode 25. It's kind of a lot. I'm sorry, but this is just what's happening. The whole game is twisting around and turning around and becoming something new, which is what we wanted all along. Okay, once a weapon is crafted, you can increase its level by using it in activities and defeating enemies. This is what I was talking about with Deep Sight Resonance. You can actually apply Deep Sight mods to your weapons, which will help you farm Deep Sight, and you can take your individual weapon and level up the stats and like super boost it the way you want. So if you see somebody, say you're in Crucible and you get destroyed by this gun and it kills you in like 0.5 seconds, and you say, wow, that gun is amazing. I have one of those guns. How come it's not that good? An example, this happens to me all the time, Shira's Wrath from Trials of Osiris. I've gotten so many drops of that gun, and no matter what, for some reason, when I shoot it, it doesn't kill people, and when people shoot me, they map me from across the map in like 0.2 seconds. So you say, how come their gun is better than mine, even though we have the same gun? You can literally grind it out and build up that gun to give it the perks that you want. And if you're ever in a situation where you don't have the perks you want, you can actually re-roll or rebuild that weapon by going to the Enclave. Pretty cool stuff. Appearance and activity-specific trackers are now called mementos. They can be unlocked by completing activities in specific playlists. The first one is going to be available in Gambit, and you're going to spread out from there. So whenever you start the game, don't just power all the way through. Don't just power all the way through the campaign. Make sure you go check out some other events, not just because, let me see what's new or whatever. It's because this will help you to level up and reach end game levels, so you will be raid ready within the 2 weeks that you have to prepare. By participating in all the events, Crucible, Gambit, Strikes, Nightfalls, whatever, they will give you increased chances of rewards, which will allow you to power level up to the soft cap, which is going to be 1,500. Okay, next section. Void 3.0. They went into heavy detail about the changes upcoming to Void 3.0. Let me list some of them for you here. Instead of introducing a new darkness subclass, Bungie has chosen to rework all light subclasses. Some of you may know this, some of you this may be news. The light classes will be completely revamped and remastered to function just like the way Stasis is now, because the player base has spoken. We really prefer being able to over customize our builds, not just have 3 choices with diamond options, and it just didn't work. So here are some of the key verbs that are coming to describe Void 3.0. If you are trying to get a hold of some of these mods, definitely feel free to pause here and contemplate what these may mean. First one, suppress. Targets taken out of active ability while active cannot be... Targets taken out of active ability while active, you cannot activate any ability or movement modes. Combatants are disoriented. So suppress means that your enemies they can't see as well, they cannot move as well, and they clearly won't be able to get a shot on you. Typically, you can do this with a smoke bomb. There's also suppression grenades. Targets can be weakened. Targets take increased damage, slowed movement, and are disoriented. They can be volatile, which means they will explode in void detonation upon taking additional damage. So kind of like how the void poison works for Le Monarch. If you're familiar with that weapon, it's a poison bow that whenever you shoot someone in the face and you get a crit shot, it will actually poison them as well as spread poison to nearby combatants. So now in this instance, once you have quote unquote poisoned your targets with the void, they will take additional damage and they can potentially explode when you shoot them. Pretty cool. There's invisibility, which is, everybody knows straight up, that's going to be hunters all day, every day. I don't even need to read that. Overshield, if you're not familiar, is whenever a player gains a protective barrier that immediately stacks on top of their existing health, and shields intercepts incoming damage. Overshield reduces damage taken from PvE combatants. Why am I telling you what Overshield is? You're probably familiar with it because you're going to be getting an Overshield all the time now, all the time. The way that they're building these new mods, like you can literally customize it to go with, say, you're a hand-to-hand type player and you just like going out slapping people in space. You can do that and you'll get your Overshield back. Or say you want to hold back and be a sniper, a distance, you want to pick them off one by one, you can do that and put mods on that will give you your Overshield. Like the options are really unlimited here. Devour is one of my favorite perks, and this specifically applies to warlocks. In Devour, the player is immediately restored to full health upon activating the perk Devour from any source and is granted grenade energy when a player gets any kill with Devour active. So what does that mean? It means that I, as a warlock, conjure a grenade in my hand. I then eat that grenade or consume that grenade. Like it's in the mechanic, you kind of squeeze it and it empowers you. But I always like to pretend that I eat it because why not? It's probably spicy. Whenever you do that, it puts a timer on the left hand of your screen, a 9-second timer. And the way it functions now, Witch Queen, is if you kill someone while you have that perk active, it refills your health instantly, and that timer will reset to 9 seconds every single kill. So if you have multiple enemies, you can really milk that for a long time. And like every time you get one kill, you're full on health, you've got 10 more seconds. They're making major changes to the way that Devour will function. Now it will not reset and give you an additional 9 seconds every time. It will simply add on a couple seconds. I want to say that they said maybe 3 seconds per kill instead of 9. You'll still be able to get your health back instantly, but it won't last as long, making you invincible, especially in a world of Savathun's Throne where we're supposed to be almost powerless at this point. It wouldn't make sense for us to be invincible. They are releasing a whole bunch of aspects. I'm going to be honest with you. We did put out a whole section for me to read. It's a lot. I'm just going to highly encourage you to go back and read the TWABs from February 3rd and February 10th. As we've stated in previous episodes, they gave us a wall of text. It will take you, it took me about 10 to 15 minutes to read each one. Kind of distracted while watching anime at the same time, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, it's really long. There's a ton of new aspects that are coming. The same way that they release stasis aspects for Beyond Light, they're releasing new aspects for the Void subclass, Void 3.0. They're amazing. Go take a look at your favorite class and see the new steps you'll be able to do. Lastly, on this section, I wanted to talk about the legendary campaign option. I'm personally really excited for this one because this means that they're making a hard mode for the campaign. And that's something we've been asking for a long time. They've scaled the difficulty here or there. Some campaigns have been more difficult than others, but then when they make core campaign missions difficult, the overall audience would complain that it's too hard. The casuals, basically. Sorry, casuals. I'm not saying anything bad about you, but it's what you do. Sometimes you complain and you get Bungie to change stuff. Hey, can't blame you. You've got the numbers. But some of us kind of veteran players that have been around a long time who really enjoy Nightfall activities, who enjoy Trials of Osiris, who really enjoy the end game activities and would love to experience that in the campaign, we can now do that. They created a new mode called, guess what it's called? Take a second. It's called Become Legend. Wow. We got the perfect podcast name. Become Legend, Becoming Legend. You can become legends with the Become Legend clan, Become Legend podcast. Become Legend. And when you're done with that, Become Legend again. So, legendary campaign. Players seeking an additional challenge when completing campaign missions can now play at the difficulty level Become Legend, which will have enemy difficulty harder than Legend level Nightfall. So, not as hard as a Grandmaster Nightfall, but harder than a Legend. And there will be enemy scaling whenever you invite your friends. So, if you play it solo, it will be a little bit more difficult when you invite your friends in order to offset the amount of times that, your friends can res you, the extra ammo that they're providing, the extra supers, stuff like that. So the point is, you're going to have a tough experience and you're going to have a great time. Players will earn additional chests from these Become Legend modes, 1 to 3 chests per mission, and you will earn Throne World armor at the end of the campaign. So once you've beaten it, you will unlock a full set of armor that will drop at 1520. Remember, the soft cap is 1500. So if you do want to power straight through the story, you can be rewarded at the end with 1520 armor if you have not reached there already. Or if you're like me, you're probably going to grind out to 1500 and then do the campaign, in which case the 1520 might be low, but I'm pretty sure it's going to look dope. It always does. Also, completing the campaign on Becoming Legend will allow you to get specific unlocks for the seasonal badge that you can earn. And completing the story on Legendary will give you a new exclusive emblem, the triumph required for the newest seal, your gear set 20 above the soft cap, like I just announced. Your armor set that you earn at the end of the campaign from Legendary will be at 1520. So when you're trying to get up to level for that raid coming out, it doesn't hurt to be 1520 at the end of the first couple days. You will receive 8 upgrade modules, as well as a new exotic typically reserved for high-level Lost Sector drops. So maybe you are farming that specific class item exotic, but it just won't drop for you. Just like me, again, like Falling Star is just never going to drop on my Titan. No matter how many Master Lost Sectors I do, it's not going to happen. So maybe there's a chance that if I beat the campaign on Become Legend mode, on essentially hard mode, that I might get that drop. It'd be nice. We'll see. There's also exclusive Bungie rewards. Typically, those are real life rewards you can get from the Bungie store, just like the Moments of Triumph t-shirt you can earn by completing the Moments of Triumph activities in game. There probably will be real life rewards for completing it in Become Legend. And that's pretty much it for the TWABs. It's kind of a long wall of text, to be honest. I still highly recommend that you go back and read them for yourself, because there are specific details that may appeal to you that I didn't find as interesting. The point is, the entire game is pretty much changing. All of these people who have been crying for Destiny 3 all of these years, this is basically it. They said we're never going to get a Destiny 3, but they did not say that the game is not going to get any better. And right now, the whole game is going to change, literally, because on the day before launch, so the DLC comes out February 22nd, right? On February 21st, they announced that they will actually have 14 hours of downtime. So anything you need to do to level up your characters, to hoard bounties, to chase after certain triumphs or whatever, make sure that you're complete before the 21st, because you're going to lose a lot of time while they are literally changing the entire game over the scope of a couple hours, and we get a basically brand new game on February 22nd. I cannot wait. Stick around. I got some more right after this message.
This episode is brought to you by our Patreon. For $3 a month, you can get access to ad-free versions of our podcast one day early, as well as being one of the first to know whenever we have anything new to announce. You can find us at patreon.com/becominglegend. That's patreon.com/becominglegend. Now back to the show.
What is your name? My name is Birduuup. What is your quest? I seek to talk about the trailers. What is Sabatoon's favorite color? I don't know that. And welcome back from Patreon reading. I'm sorry, I really, really love that movie. If you know, you know. And if not, you need to check it out. Just look it up, you know. Anyways. That was a pretty good reading about the Patreon props, whichever of us did it. Don't know. We've got a few versions kind of circling around. Who knows what you're going to get? But we still appreciate you for being here. Now is the second half of the podcast, and you're wondering, well, what are we going to talk about? You already kind of explained to us the TWAB. You already kind of told us the upcoming changes to gameplay. What else possibly? Trailers. Trailers, baby. Trailers. Bungie has been spamming the heck out of us with trailers. Bungie has been spamming my phone with so many trailers and YouTube videos. There's 3 specific trailers that I want to talk about. There's been like more than 10 released over the last 2 weeks, but there's 3 that I really want to get to. So The first one is about weapons and gear. This actually came out February 3rd with that TWAB release, a weapons and gear trailer. It's pretty dope. Doesn't explain too much of the story, but gives you a really good look at the upcoming exotics. Some of them are amazing. Some of them, not so much, but I think it maybe just depends on your class, how you'll feel about it. Let's get to it. The first one that they show you in the trailer, the first exotic, is called Grand Overture. It is a slug launcher that charges full auto missiles. What does that mean? I think it's like a machine gun. I'm not entirely sure how it's really going to function in game, but when you're watching the trailer, it looks like a machine gun to me, but it's able to fire missiles out of the top. It looks like something straight out of Borderlands 3. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, this does not look like your average Destiny 2 weapon. It's kind of like, oh man, what's that Destiny 2 weapon? The rocket launcher that shoots like a million volleys and it looks kind of like a moon. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That one. I'm sorry. But it's literally like that, but being shot out of your machine gun. Next one they show is called Parasite. This one's probably going to be my favorite, or at least the one that I'm looking forward to the most. It is a worm grenade launcher, a hive worm. The same worms from the worm gods, the ones that the hive ingest in order to increase their power. You can shoot them now. Oh, sorry. Let me clarify. Not you can shoot them, because we've been able to shoot them. But now you can load them into your weapon and fire them from your weapon at the hive and explode. If you remember the exploding hive, if the exploding worms from, I want to say it's the strike on the reef, where you go down and you take out the wizard, and she has like a bunch of a hive, and she's working. Probably gonna edit a little bit here. Okay. There's a strike where you go down into the reef and you have to kill the knights, and whenever the knights die, they drop a worm. You pick up said worm, it's glowy, you slam it into a wall, the wall explodes. Those same worms we are now loading into our grenade launchers, expelling them from our grenade launchers at the enemy and exploding them. So the same thing that gives you power, I'm going to use to kill you. Just like Savathun, your boss is trying to steal our power and use it to kill us, we can do the same thing. See how you like it. Next one is called Osteostriga. It's a swarming projectile trigger toxic burst submachine gun. Basically, someone at Bungie thought it would be a good idea if you made a submachine gun version of Thorn. I feel so bad for you, Crucible. I really do. Like, it's going to be so much poison running around. And you know me. I like to run as a poison lock. Anything I can do to empower my warlock with poison and mix it with my own personal light or darkness abilities, I'm in it. So get ready for it. I'm just going to power through the names and not read all the descriptions, but these were the rest that were featured in the weapons and gear. Titan Glaive, Edge of Action. Warlock Glaive, Edge of Intent. Hunter Glaive, Edge of Concurrence. Hoarfrost Z, Titan Chest Piece. Osteomancy Gloves, Warlock. Blight Ranger, Helmet. Sorry, I didn't read those before. Blight Ranger helmet for Hunter, Osteomancy gloves for Warlock, Hoarfrost Z for the Titan. Essentially, these are mostly stasis exotics, and for the Titan one, it allows you to spawn an ice wall right in front of you, and it also reduces the amount of incoming damage that you take. One other one that I just want to go over is the Titan Glaive, specifically Edge of Action. I'm a Warlock main, and I got to tell you, I think that the Titan Glaive is really going to take the cake here, because it can spawn a miniature bubble, a miniature dome, a miniature, what is it? Well, no, I'm sorry. Anyways, it literally spawns a dome that you can hide in and use it for protection from the enemies. It's not as big as the super from the Titans, but the fact that you'll be able to spawn one of these almost at will is going to be amazing. The next trailer that I wanted to cover is the Vidoc. They actually released a specific Vidoc or video documentary, kind of going over the build of Witch Queen, some of the things we can expect. There were some story drops in there, but here's some of the key notes I wanted to talk about from the Vidoc video. One, it's mostly about shedding the dogma of light. Basically, light equals good, darkness equals bad. We're not really so much going to say that one is good and one is evil anymore, because we've been using these quote evil powers for a year now, and we haven't turned evil ourselves, which proves that it is possible to wield this power for good. Therefore, it is no longer inherently evil. Same thing with the light. The light is not inherently good if our biggest enemy can steal it and use it for herself, as well as in our own history as Guardians. Whenever we first kind of materialized, we had warlords, we had dark users of light that would torture people and kill people and use it for personal gain. So it just goes to show that the light is not inherently good either. We're going to be talking about what does it mean to be a Guardian. I think this is going to focus a little bit on the ghosts themselves. You definitely want to tune into episode 27, which will be the first episode of season 2 of Becoming Legend, because like I said, we will be discussing the Witch Queen Collector's Edition, which has pretty good segments on what it means to be a Guardian. I won't get into it here, but just something to look forward to. The throne world itself is a manifestation of Savathun's personality, which in the Witch Queen is going through transformation through the light. So the explorable area that we will get in the Witch Queen is separated into 2 distinct sides. There is one which is darkness related. That's where you're going to find the pyramid. That's where you're going to find the swamps. That's where you're going to find Hive. I don't know if there's going to be Lucid Brood there or not. The Lucid Brood being the new Hive warriors that are infused with the light. But I don't think that all of them will be infused with light. I think it's going to be like a couple in every wave type situation, where there's going to be a lot of just standard Hive, and there's also going to be some Lucent Brood. But that's just my own personal prediction. We'll see how it is whenever it actually comes out. The point being, there will be 2 sections, 1 darkness and 1 light. This means that it's representative of Savathun wanting to change and metamorphosize into a being of light and use that for her power. You can literally look at the world as you're exploring it and see the changes in her personality, if that makes sense. The Season of the Risen is going to be the name of the new season once it drops. So along with the Witch Queen expansion, we are starting a brand new season in Destiny 2, Season of the Risen, season, I want to say 17. And it has us team up with Kaitel to use Cabal's light-suppressing technology against the Lucent Hive. If you've been following from a lore perspective, you know that, first of all, here at Becoming Legend, we're big fans of Gaul the Conqueror, Gaul the Emperor. What he did was place, let's just call it a giant baseball glove around the Traveler. Traveler couldn't give out its light anymore. Didn't work, obviously, because we killed him. The Traveler woke up, freed itself, and now we're back to business as usual. But the Cabal were actually able to recreate this technology in a miniaturized ghost form. You see this take place in Season of the Chosen whenever they make an attempt on Zavala's life, whenever they shoot his ghost with a device that actually captures it and makes it so that if Zavala would have been killed in that moment, the ghost would not have been allowed to res him. Well, that technology didn't get put used to Zavala's assassination, but they were able to recreate it, apparently, and we are going to employ that technology against the dark ghosts, the dark Hive, who now have light. Kaya told in her Cabal found a way to beat light bearers, but we told her, if you try that shit, we gonna kick your ass. I'm sorry for the cursing, but that's basically what we said. So she said, all right, fine. I'll just keep this in my back pocket just in case. And look, lo and behold, there's a situation where we need to repress light. I'm really interested to see what happens there. The last part of the Vidoc trailer is there is a mortal dilemma around killing hive ghosts, because are hive ghosts inherently evil? Just like we had the discussion about, is darkness or light inherently good or evil? Are these ghosts evil? Are they choosing to help Savathun? Maybe they've been manipulated in some way, shape, or form. The collector's edition lore book suggests otherwise. That's all I'm going to say. Remember to tune in next week to episode 27 to find out what I'm talking about. Very, 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 very lastly, again, thank you so much for sticking around to the solo episode. I hope I haven't completely lost you. We have one trailer that I wanted to just briefly mention at the end. Bungie released an interactive trailer. Like, not a choose your own adventure type thing, but just go to Bungie's website or Google Bungie interactive trailer and go to the website. I don't think it works that well on your phone. At least it didn't work that well. I'm an iPhone 11 user myself, and I was not able to participate. I went on my laptop at home, went to the website. Go check out this trailer. If you are a lore buff, check out this trailer. If you don't know anything about Destiny 2, check out this trailer. I thought that it was one of Bungie's best ways of bringing characters up to speed on everything. It covers everything from Oryx to Fundament to the Worm Gods, Savathun and her sisters, what happened with Osiris, what happened with Kaitul, what happened with the Vex, like everything that's happened since Destiny 2. Since Destiny 1. Everything that's happened since Destiny 1 that's had something to do with Savathun, she's had some kind of play in it. Whatever happened to the Dreaming City? What happened to the Curse? All of this stuff is referenced in this trailer. You watch it through one time, and it's kind of like an explanation of the story, but there are hidden secrets in the trailer. I'm not going to ruin it for you. It's very fun to explore it yourself and just click on different parts of the screen. But I'll say this, there are prompts that show up, like obvious signs, and you're like, what happens if I click that? And it will take you to a separate lore page and give you a little bit more in depth. But in those, there are more secrets. There are secret voice lines hidden inside of the trailer that you only get by clicking through it. That's all I'll say. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah. We summarized it. We actually wrote a whole paragraph about it. I'm gonna skip it and just suggest that you check out the Bungie interactive trailer before the launch of The Witch. Actually, this will come out after. Just check it out. Just check it out. Just trust me. Just believe me. Please. It's dope. I think that's pretty much it. That's really everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks. Again, today is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to you all. Belated Valentine's Day, because by the time this comes out, it'll be later. But I hope you all had a good Valentine's Day. I hope you're out there grinding out this game. I hope you are getting all your masterworks, getting all your enhancement cores, getting all the materials you need, grinding out your bounties. And this has been a heck of a journey, season 1 with Becoming Legend. I appreciate every single one of you, even you, listener, that this is your very first time experiencing us. Yeah, I appreciate you too. Thank you. Thank you so much. Remember that we do have a Patreon where you can actually go to patreon.com/becominglegend if you would like to support us directly. This will allow us to create more content. This will allow us to give you more ways that you can interact with us. This will allow us to increase the quality of our material. You know, we're now on TikTok. We're on YouTube. I'm not sure if we have a Twitter. We definitely have a Gmail if you want to contact us directly. Becoming Legend Podcast at gmail.com. And you can also join our specific Discord/clan community. We have a Destiny 2 clan. If you are looking for people to play with and you're like, I'm just so tired of trying to find friends to do raids with me, or I want to do end game activities, but nobody really wants to play with me, or my friends are so high level that they don't want to play because if I start the game out, I'm going to be low. Don't worry about any of that stuff. When Witch Queen comes out, you're going to start off at 1350 anyways. Everybody starts off at the same level unless you've already been playing for a while. You might have a couple levels advantage, but it really doesn't matter. If you're just jumping into this game right now, you will start at a level high enough where you're a badass, man. And all you need are some badass friends and women. We do have women in our clan as well. So, come on over. Check out our Discord. Click the link below. Click like, subscribe, rate the podcast, do the thing, and just have fun, y'all. Seriously. And if you're not, I'll find you. Peace.